Okay,
We are live.
we are recording now.
I laughed that before we went live, you said you took a bath, and last night I had one of those mother moments because I'm really in touch with the fact it's going really quickly. And Emma wrote this lovely note to me,
I
and
saw
it
it.
was all about how she wanted to take a bath. Great.
I
And
did.
I
I saw
thought,
it. I saw it. It was
I'm
so
like,
cute.
I love you. I cannot do the bath with you. Homegirl loves that bubble bath so cold. I'm like, I can't do it. It's sleeting outside. You like it
No.
bubbles and freezing. I'm not getting naked. If I had a wetsuit,
It's funny. Evan went from wanting his bath really, really warm to wanting it really kind of chilly, and I'm like,
what
you
is
really
up
want it
with
that cold? And
that?
now he's back to wanting it warm again. It's really funny. But I never take baths with the boys. I mean,
Oh,
maybe because they're boys, but
and I think it's a girl thing. She's really big into let's do the bath together. But I thought,
that's
yeah, I'm never going to look
funny.
back and regret not
No.
taking a bath with you when it's 20 degrees outside and the water's 20 degrees.
Yes, I do this thing. It's really indulgent. I take a bath. This is this is like the way I pamper myself. And I know it's indulgent and but
In the
I take a
shower.
warm bath
Uh-huh.
and then when
And
the
then the
water
shower.
yeah, and then when the water starts to get too cold, I then drain the tub and take a hot shower.
That's what I did the last time with, now that we said her name, Emma. I got in the bath with her. I couldn't handle it anymore. Ran across to a hot shower. It was awesome. It
Yeah,
was
no, I do. I go from bath to shower because I feel like I don't feel clean after a bath because you're sitting in your own filth.
exactly. Yes. Oh my
Oh my
gosh,
God.
that's hilarious.
That's
Okay,
so funny. Okay. All right. So the order's going to be I'll update about the trailer.
perfect.
Then we'll go to the quote, and then we'll do the eating, and then we'll do the Wickwicker of the week.
Perfection. Go us.
Okay, this is
Episode number
6. Yeah. Okay. This is now I'm energized again doing this, even though do I sound sick? I think I sound
no.
sick. No,
Sounds
I feel like I sound
You sound like
nasally.
Jillian.
Oh.
There you go. That's more energy.
That's nice. Okay. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Welcome to this week's wycwyc podcast. We are back for episode 6.
Episode. You know what? I have to say, it feels like episode 160 all together. It feels like we've been doing this forever in a really good way.
Yes, I feel like we're doing it forever, but yet I feel like it's new. It's like it's like a dichotomy. It's like I don't know how to explain it.
Which I think is good. I think I always laugh about that with my daughter, that you always want to be kind of nervous because it propels you on with excitement. And so I think it's good that it still feels kind of new because I'm super excited every time we sit down to do it.
It's true. I can't. It's 6. Well, 6 means 6 weeks. We've been doing this for 6 weeks.
But how long? Well, we've created a habit. Go us.
We have. We have. We still need that carve out that one. Like, okay, this day and this week and this hour.
Time
Can't
is
wait to do
sacred.
that.
The dang weather.
I know. I can't. I'm over winter. Anyway.
Speaking of winter and derailing things and excitement in your world.
Yeah. So, well, we got 10 inches of snow on Saturday, which I'm actually would have
Seriously,
been
can't believe that.
very excited about. Except Sunday we had the date basically to film the wycwyc book trailer, which I'm super super excited about, and I know you are too.
I'm so excited. Okay, so a book
Yeah.
trailer, really, really short, is like the preview. It's like the teaser. It's like the movie. And I actually had a friend who did his like a movie. It's like, this is what to expect, and it's all by video.
Right. And so, but you and I came up with a great idea, which I love, which is instead of it in a weird way, it being about the book, but more kind of reinforcing the concepts of the book. And so,
Yes, which I love. It's not a sales pitch, which I
no,
adore.
yeah, it's not like, hey, buy our book. It's kind of like, this is what the book is all about, and I guess this is why you should buy it, but it's more of a, really, people can get benefit from just watching the book trailer
Yes, that's
without
what I
ever
love
buying the
too.
book. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm excited, and so I had a film crew. We had to skip the morning. We basically had like a delay because of the snow, and so we could only film 2 of the 4 little scenes that we have set up. But it's great. It was great. We had the kids were kind of a part of it and got to see them set up the cameras and the lights, and it was really, really fun to kind of watch. And I did something I don't normally do, which was I just stepped back. So,
Yes, I
yes.
saw that, and I thought, self-care, wycwyc, perfect.
Yeah, well, I mean, I am a little bit of type A, and I tend to take over. But I mean, we had storyboards. We already went through the script. We knew what we were filming, and I thought to myself, let them do what they do best.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
and step back and just be an observer. So I got it catered. I got lunch for everybody. I ate with everybody, and then I kind of slunk away and just took pictures with my phone in the background.
Now, are we sharing the people's names? I think there was one that
Yes,
some of our
so
listeners may already know, or is that a secret?
it's not a secret. So Thea is a fellow blogger, and we basically did a casting call through our Facebook group. So everyone in the video is really basically people we know, which is great. And you and I did not want to be in it, which I think is great. But yeah, she has the only speaking role, and so she filmed.
Wait.
I mean, I think we could tell people it'll be fun. Like, so basically, it's just going to be about a 1-minute video where we show through kind of short little vignettes, not spoken rule, like not this. It's not like they're talking to the camera or anything like that, but these little vignettes that kind of show these little mini
Breaking
stories.
down the third wall.
Yeah,
third wall or fourth wall. Oh, I don't even know what.
She breaks down the fourth. I think it's the fourth wall, right? She breaks down the fourth wall in the last vignette, but that's the only time.
Oh, that's right. Okay, got it. I'm so excited to see this.
She has the only speaking role, which is great. And then all of the other ones, they're just these little short vignettes that kind of show a person in that moment have to make the decision to do what they can when they can that propels them towards their goals, whatever that goal may be. I mean, you don't really know. But whether it's like stopping work to play with your kids or choosing a banana over a bag of chips or, you know what I mean? So
yes. And I love what you said, that you can get something out of the video. I think that was so important to both of us, and that the guy we worked with really helped to convey, sure, we want you to buy the book because we believe in it so much, but you can watch the video and get the concept and run with it. And just jump in online.
And that was really important to me too. I wanted the video to be kind of like a standalone thing that we can use to kind of promote the concept of wycwyc. Because really, if people don't buy the book, I mean, this sounds really bad. I don't really care. I'd rather them understand the concept of like wycwyc and help them be motivated and stop kind of the negative cycle.
The power of baby steps. Yes.
Yeah, that's really my ultimate goal, and I think the video helps us do that. Hopefully the podcast helps us do that. Hopefully the book will help us do that. You know, so yeah, it's just something kind of that reinforces what you and our message is basically. So.
And it's so fun. I mean, back in the day, 10 years ago, I helped a bunch of friends with theirs, and it was just different back then, and the trailers were very dry, and no one watched them. And I think that's the brilliance, because it wasn't all of our idea, we had help, of this whole thing, is it's something that people want to watch more than once.
Yes. And I think it's a whole different world now. I mean, YouTube, I'm fascinated by YouTube, and I mean, because we're on the older end of the user spectrum.
Get
I guess
my
you could say. Yes. But my son, I mean, and my 9-year-old, he watches more YouTube than he watches TV.
Yes, that's mine. Yeah.
Yeah, and he watches. I mean, I think we talked about this even last week.
Yes.
He watches like these people do like video game stuff and Minecraft stuff, and they have millions and millions and millions of views. And I'm thinking, wow, they have more subscribers than probably watch, like The Talk or something.
And they're so visual. And I think I said this last week too, but it stuck in my mind when I pulled up the homepage of wycwyc.com, and my daughter was like, her mind was blown out by all the popping up of the various people using it. Like, they're so visually impacted.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it'll be cool for us to have, like, to live on YouTube in a way. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that I said that just makes me even older, I realize.
Oh my gosh, I'm doing a presentation this weekend, social media for authors, and my YouTube channel is the best example of don't be me, learn from my mistakes.
Mine would be too.
I didn't know you couldn't change your YouTube name. And so my YouTube name is still Chicken Bus 2006.
I really need to know the story. Maybe we'll do another podcast of
Chicken
Bus.
I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm a living example of what not to do. Okay, I'm super excited about this next segment because it is visual. It's something that I watch all the time. Something that I don't think you watch.
I did watch.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, see, I missed it. It's Friday Night Lights, and somehow I've fallen back into it. I watched the pilot a few times, and then we moved back to Austin, and I thought, okay, I'll try it one more time.
They're not still making them. Are they still making them?
Oh, no. I'm so behind on the trends that I think it ended.
Like, this is years ago.
Yes. Okay. We lived here. They were filming it, and somehow I fell back into it when we moved back. I'm not sure how it happened. But the other day, I was watching it, and what was I doing? Oh, my gosh. I think it was sleeting, and I was walking on the treadmill, and I have said over and over again how smitten I am with Tammy Taylor. I love Tammy Taylor. But that's I could go on for a whole podcast about that one. So I tend to ignore her husband, the coach. Like him, but I love how she's a strong woman. But the coach was talking to the football team, and he was getting them pumped up for the game, and he said, which surprised me coming from what I would imagine to be more a win-at-all-costs type individual, success isn't an end goal, it's a byproduct. And I seriously leaped off the treadmill, and because I lost my mind and it's who I am, I had to tweet it and Facebook
I saw
it.
the tweet.
I thought, you know what? That's exactly it. It's loving the process, and for them it's football, of what you're doing so much that you lose the entire focus on the end.
Right. Wait. Say the quote one more time.
Success isn't an end goal, it's a byproduct.
Right. Yes.
And I remember the first time I even really thought about this was I was actually a personal trainer at this time, watching my husband, who loves school, working on his dissertation for his PhD. And there's nothing I would like less. I mean, I would be so focused on the end goal because I would just want to finish it, get the grade, get out, and get a job. But he was loving every single step of the process, the research, the revising. And I remember saying to him, oh my goodness, I would hate that. And he said, oh yeah, you cannot do a dissertation. If you're focused on the end goal, you have to love the process.
Right.
And I don't think I really got it until, and really everything does tie back to our book. It was like July 4th weekend last year, and we ended up with a bunch of marathon days, maybe 10-hour days. We were on the cell phone. We were working in the Google document. And I think that was the first time in my own life I had really experienced oh yeah, if this book is on the New York Times bestsellers list, it will just be a byproduct, because the success was in loving the journey, in those days going so quickly, and enjoying creating together.
It was really fun.
It was. And I think that was the first time I realized that success doesn't have to come at the end. Because when I've done, and I bet you get this, or maybe not, I'd be curious to hear, competitions. When I did bodybuilding competitions, I knew I was going to lose, but I wanted to be better Carla than I had been the last competition. So it wasn't in the process. It was in that end goal. Was I better than I was last time?
You know what? It's funny you say that. I don't think I would have thought of, because I do CrossFit competitions, and
Right.
I know there's no way I'm going to win. there's no. I mean, I'm not even close to being competitive, really.
Me either.
But I never thought about it in that same way. I really do enjoy them. Just the process of being there, being around the energy, just pushing myself to my own limits, even though I'm not competitive in the traditional sense. It's funny. I remember I had a conversation with another fellow blogger. This was years and years ago, and she's not a runner. And she said, well, I don't understand why you would ever participate in a race if you couldn't win. It makes no sense. And I'm thinking, oh, there's no way I'm going to win. I just love the atmosphere and
Yes.
seeing a new route and running with a friend, or whatever, the energy at the event. So it's, in a weird way, it's the same thing. And that's one of the things that I think was a huge shift in my mentality when I really lost weight. It was the first time my focus wasn't on a specific number on the scale or a size or even like what my body would look like. It was, I shifted focus into, I want to learn better habits. I want to learn how to eat, how to find balance.
Yes.
And the shift really was, it was like it's what really helped. Weight loss became the byproduct because I was enjoying
Yes.
the process of relearning how to eat and how to incorporate movement into my life and how to find balance and how to deal with binge eating tendencies. Like I was learning how to deal with all that stuff, and that's what the process was. And then the byproduct was, oh, I did lose weight. So.
And it is how we define success. Like I think about the non-scale victories, then you get on the airplane and you can use the seatbelt without an extender.
Yes.
That may not be your end goal, but it is success. So in a way, shifting it to more the wycwyc would be the success isn't focusing on the end goal, it's celebrating the small victories along the way.
Mm-hmm. I used to always say that you can't not celebrate. My least favorite word in anyone's vocabulary is only. I only lost a pound. I only did this. And I thought, no, you did that. Like, let's celebrate that. Own that pound. Own that half a pound. I remember one week I lost zero point 0.4 pounds. Hey, it's still a downward progress. I mean, you have to own it.
Yes.
If you don't, you're kind of self-sabotaging, and then you're, in a weird way, I think you're either a person who's trying to find an out, you know what I mean? Instead of, it's kind of like you need an excuse and you're like, well, this isn't working. It's not happening fast enough. So you throw your hands up and you're like, I'm done. But if you really work hard at celebrating all those little small successes, it keeps you in the game, because then
it keeps you motivated. And I think it's a personality thing. I do think some people might really be motivated by, my dissertation is due on this date and I'm highly motivated to get it done. It wouldn't be for me. I would need to really embrace the process. And it makes me think of, we both love Leo from Zen Habits.
Yes.
And he encourages and focuses on losing yourself in the doing, which I love. But for me, that is the success. When I can lose myself in the doing and forget there's an end goal, that's the successful experience. And that's why the book writing was so fun for me, because I lost myself in the doing.
Yes. It's funny. You know what? I can bring this back into blogging even, because I know a lot of people, they'll say, like, I can lose hours maintaining my websites, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So many people are like, how do you start a blog, and how do you get followers, and how do you do this, and how do you do that? And I think, I'm like, when I first started 10 years ago, which is ridiculously a long time ago, I would get lost in what I was doing, and I would remember looking up at the clock and going, holy crap, 4 hours went by, and I couldn't even tell you what I accomplished in that 4 hours, but it was, tinkering with the design, or, dealing with spam comments, or it was just like I was like lost in just the work, the doing. And
I think that's it. Like I got my master's degree, career counseling, and it's kind of trite at this point, but that's your calling, is what makes you lose track of time.
Yes.
And
yeah,
I
there
think
was a quote about that. Something about losing track of time, or yeah.
And a lot of people, I still hear it, and I really, quite frankly, don't get it, will say, gosh, I really want to become a blogger, but I hate writing. The whole experience is painful.
That was me. I hated writing.
Then I think, but see, now it's easier in the sense of you can do vlogging, you can do recipes.
Yes.
But a lot of people feel compelled to shove themselves into that, no, it's all text blogging vertical. And there's no need. If it's not you, then you can find a different path to success, because you need to lose yourself in the doing and enjoy it, because there are facets of anything we won't love. Even with the book writing that was so fun, there are facets of everything that will be work. You might as well get all the losing yourself in the doing you can along the way.
That's so true. That is true. Yes. Okay, great quote. That was a good conversation.
Oh, Tammy Taylor, Coach Taylor, I just love you.
It's funny because I can't remember the actress's name. Do you know the actress's name?
Connie Britton.
Connie Britton, yes. Now she's on Nashville, and my husband is a huge Nashville fan.
Okay, tell him I'm going to join in next.
I tend to roll my eyes at Nashville.
You do? Oh, but oh my gosh, I love her. I love her.
She is. No, I love her. And
have her as a guest.
She was also in American Horror Story first season.
Yes, that's what I heard.
Which I loved, because I'm like a horror movie freak. Yeah, she's really cool. But you know what? I don't know when Friday Night Lights came out, but I haven't watched it. I watched it when it was like live on TV, so I don't remember. I
fought it because they were filming it here, but now I run around my neighborhood shouting, "Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose." And I made myself the "What Would Tammy Taylor Do" t-shirt. I have totally lost my mind. It is so not hip anymore. I have jumped on the bandwagon that has left the station.
That's so funny. And that's the way culture is anymore. I mean, everything is like recyclable because everything's available all the time. It's really cool.
Yes, you're right. Oh my gosh, so like in 50 years, someone will be listening to our podcasts.
That's so true. Well, like my husband and I, we went on a Miami Vice binge not that long ago, and but we've decided we can only watch them in the summer because you can't watch Miami Vice in the winter. It's just not cool. But then you need.
What was his name?
Don Johnson.
And I want to call him Philip Michael Thomas. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, and it's yes. Something like that.
So, yeah.
We went
on. Now that we've gotten way off track.
Okay, so yes.
Time to get regimented.
So yet again, I'm going to be inspired by a conversation that happened on my blog. And it was inspired by Erica from Black Girl's Guide to Weight Loss, who I absolutely love her. She's an
Oh my
amazing
gosh, so
woman,
do
so inspiring. And I got to work with her on a few projects in the past, and she's always fun to be around. But she was republicizing kind of older posts, and I caught one that she wrote in December, and it was about how she sets a timer to eat every few hours. I don't even know the specifics of how many
to
hours.
remind her to eat, or the length of time she gets to eat?
The length of time. So it was kind of like dinger went off. Okay, I'm going to grab my apple, and then she'd go back to work, and then
Okay, got it, got it.
alarm would go off, and now I'm going to have that handful of almonds, and then she'd go back
Interesting.
to work.
Okay.
And I thought, I don't know if that would work for me.
Is it
And
because she would lose herself in her work otherwise and forget to?
yeah, and she would get too
Okay.
hungry, and then this was her way,
Yes.
and I won't do her justice, so if she hears this, she can always chime in the comments, but it was her way of battling her binge eating
Smart. Yes.
yeah, so she wouldn't get too hungry, and to nurture. It was her way of nurturing herself, really. That was what the post was. But when I read it, I thought, I had to heal myself in the same ways, but I did it in with a different process. So
Yes.
when I lost weight, I was working full time at a community college as a professor, so I'd be there basically all day, if not like a shifted day, kind of midday to dinner time, so basically a stretch of time. And I would bring tons of snacks with me. I would bring my lunch, and I would bring my apple and a yogurt cup and a handful of almonds and a cheese stick, and I would have like this little like survival pack basically for the day.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, I would actually, at that time, I was doing Weight Watchers, so I had my little old-fashioned pen and paper food journal that they used to give you. This was, again, 10 years ago, and I would
Still love.
and I would actually write down all the snacks I was bringing and my lunch, and so I would know, okay, even if I eat all these snacks, I would still be under
This
my.
is what the total is.
I
Okay.
was right. And then I would eat breakfast, I would go to work. And then when my stomach would growl, I would go into my bag of snacks and pick something. And just one thing, just a yogurt cup, say. Then I would go back to work. And then
But completely spontaneous, not
completely spontaneous. So then if my stomach growled a half hour later or an hour and a half later.
Oh, interesting. So you had it all planned out, but you could do it whenever.
Right, so I was like, in a weird way, the opposite of her. Instead of
Yes.
using an alarm to trigger me to dig in my snacks, I would use my hunger. And it really helped me kind of, kind of acknowledge my hunger, remind myself that it's not this crazy emergency that requires,
Yes.
I don't know, stuffed crust pizza and double cheeseburgers and french fries to fill it.
Or that even requires panic.
Yes, it was like, oh, I'm hungry.
The
Let me
need,
grab my
I can-
banana.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it really kind of helped me kind of become in tune with my hunger, and really learn that, hey, a banana can be satisfying. A yogurt cup can be satisfying because my hunger pains are now gone. And maybe
Now, do you think it helped you learn intuitive eating in the sense of, did you pause and think, I have all these choices, what am I craving? Or did you just grab the nearest thing?
I think it was a little bit of, I have all these choices, what sounds best right now to me,
Yes.
kind of thing. And it really helped me learn that I didn't have to be stuffed to solve the hunger problem my body was having. So it was like, I really learned that difference between satisfied and stuffed. It was like, okay, a 100-calorie yogurt cup took my hunger pains away, and it can get me through to dinner or to lunch or whatever the next meal was, instead of feeling like I had to like put out a fire with.
Which is super hard. I mean, that whole approach, I can't think of what country it's from, where they say, and they always stop eating when they're 70% full or whatever.
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Exactly. Even if you don't bring the dishes to the table and you just put some on your plate, it is, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah. So it was an interesting conversation, and lots of people in the comments shared.
Which way did they veer?
It was funny. I think a majority of them said they did a combination of the two. And some people brought up a couple good points that I didn't think of, which was, one person was like, I do tend to eat on a schedule because I preemptively know I'm not going to have dinner for, say, 5 hours from now, and I don't want to get myself too hungry. So even though I'm not hungry now, I know I should eat because I have a meal. I don't have a meal for another 4 or 5. And I thought, okay, that's an aspect I didn't think of. And someone else brought up, and this is a great point, teachers who, they can only eat at certain times in their day. So if you have a certain kind of job,
See, I
like
used to do that when I was a trainer because we'd be back
yeah.
to back and I couldn't slip food in my mouth.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm lucky enough. I had an office job. I was in a room by myself basically, and I
Yes.
only taught classes for a maximum of say 2 hours at a stretch. So I can eat before class started and then eat after class started or whatever I was hungry. So I didn't have that same sense of kind of feeling like locked, like oh, I won't be able to eat for the
Yes.
next 5 hours. So I mean, people brought up some really good points, and I just think it was a really great discussion to show that there are kind of different approaches. And the funny thing is Eric and I probably eat very similarly now, but we both took different
Yes.
paths to get there and kind of learn about ourselves and what works for us.
And the trust.
Yeah, of knowing, that would work for me or that wouldn't work for me. I think eating on a schedule, if I did that back then, I don't think I would have learned what I learned about myself, that, these kinds of foods are more satisfying and this work, I just wouldn't have learned to deal with my hunger in a way. And now it's like I have this knowledge about myself that says, okay, when I'm hungry, if I'm truly hungry, I'll grab an apple and that'll hold me over for a good 45 minutes before I have to worry about my next mini meal or whatever. So.
It's so interesting what you said about knowing what satisfies you. And I gave the child a snack to bring to school, which is a whole other conversation. Sometimes I wonder why we send snacks still.
We're done with the snacks now.
Oh my goodness,
Fourth
can we be
grade has
done with the
ended snacks. Yes.
And she did say, I can't remember even what it was, but she said, please don't send this anymore. And I said, oh my gosh, I thought you liked it. She said, I do like it, but I feel like it makes me more hungry and it doesn't, I'm not ready to go on to the next thing. Or it was very convoluted and messy, but I thought, oh, you're starting to realize, I wish I could remember what it was, but I think it was probably something that had very little protein, very little fat, like one of those kind of quick, not a rice cake, but that type of thing that burns quickly.
That's a pretty big observation for a 9-year-old, I would think.
She was like, yeah, I wasn't still hungry, but I thought it is that gift of realizing. And then the other thing that once shocked me that my husband said, that goes back to what you said as well about when I'm really hungry, seems to be something that you said a few times, is he made a comment about something I ate, whatever it was, and he said, I ate that the other day. I was really hungry, and it was so good. And I realized, if I let myself get hungry, basically good, clean food tastes phenomenal. And it was that realization for him of, oh yeah, I'm really, truly hungry.
Yes, I always have this thing because I still do, I have a tendency to want to eat when I'm not hungry. I'm one of those, I eat when I'm not hungry people. I don't know why I do it, but I do. I'm sure there's lots of variables. But my kind of self-test is that if a piece of fruit sounds appetizing, I'm truly hungry.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I used to say to my clients, you want some tuna and steamed veggies? And they're like, no.
No, then you're not really hungry.
Yes, I'm like, you don't have to eat that, but use that as your barometer. And then one client came in one day and said, I use that. And I thought, hell yeah. She said, I didn't eat it, but I realized, oh yeah, that sounds really good. I am famished.
It's true. I tell the kids the same thing because my kids, and people have to let us know if this is across the board. They will eat a meal and then literally within I had to have an argument with the kids. This was Tuesday, I think. I can't remember what I made. I'm meal planning now, so you think I would remember, but I don't know. We had the meal, and then we're cleaning up dinner, and the 4-year-old's like, I want a snack, and I'm like, we just ate dinner. So
and I think it's adults too do the same thing. Whether it's
if you're still hungry,
watch TV.
Yes, and I'm like, how do I stop this from happening? So I'm trying to reinforce with the kids if you're not eating enough dinner, if you want a snack, or you're not really hungry, you just want something, whatever the infamous I want something.
And I have no idea what to do in that scenario either with myself when I feel that way or her. And I don't know this is the right thing to do, but I will sometimes reflexively say, go grab there's tons of cut veggies in the fridge.
No, that's what I do.
Yes, and I think that feels a little bit, I don't mean to be punitive, but it's like, if you're still hungry, great, have that.
I do the fruit. I always say, look, there's apples, there's oranges, and there's a banana. So if you're really hungry, have one of those, and you can look at it like your dessert. And then if you're still hungry after that, then maybe you can have because they always want something out of a bag, out of the pantry. And I'm like,
I know.
And I've been really good at buying less and less and less, so their options are getting less and less and less.
Yeah.
I'm like the mean mom. Like so I won't buy like every couple of weeks I might buy like a bag of Sun Chips or something or
Yes.
but
It's so hard
overall
because the individual bags and the going stale. That's the big win that I've found.
well
'Cause we have to do the damn snacks.
nothing will go stale in my house because
Oh, yeah, you two boys. Yes.
there is no going stale.
Yes.
But yeah, so I try to have like sunflower seeds and almonds and pistachios and like nuts and so that way, and I mean, nothing's more satisfying to me when I'll come downstairs and I'll see like one of the kids on the couch with a bowl for their pistachio shells and a big bag of pistachios and they're
Oh
sitting
my
there.
gosh, or your thing on Facebook about the lima beans. I think it's so interesting. Sometimes when we let ourselves really sit with ourselves and think, what do I really want? I will really want like a big piece of salmon. Like what I really am craving is not junky.
Right.
And the lima beans, it's like something in him wanted lima beans.
He first of all, the story, I don't know if we have time because I have no idea how long we've been going, but those lima beans they're a whole story because we were at the grocery store and he must have loved the way the can looked because he asked to
Oh
buy
my
them.
gosh. My daughter loves black beans like that. There's
Yeah, he
something
eats
about
black
it.
beans like that too because well, both my kids, I gave them beans as baby foods when they were kids because
Yes.
they can pick them up and they're soft and they're
Yes.
not really a big choking hazard and especially like butter beans and black beans and pinto beans. So he picked them out of the grocery store. He saw them. He asked to buy them, and I'm like, sure, I will buy you a can of lima beans. And then they were in the pantry, and they were at his eye level. And then that one night he asked for a stack, and he opened the pantry door, and he pulled out the can, and he asked for them. And I said,
So he
okay.
ate them cold.
He ate them room temperature right out of the can. Like I basically just put them in a sieve and I rinsed them like in a drain and I rinsed them and I poured them in a bowl and he just ate them at room temperature. When that's how we all eat beans a lot of times, to be honest. But
I've never done that with lima beans for some reason. I've done it with black beans and red
I've done it with
beans.
pinto beans and black beans and kidney beans. But this was the first time I've done it. This is the first time I really bought a can of lima beans. I don't
Yeah, I've
generally
never
buy
done lima beans. I can't lie.
But the funny thing was on the can, the beans were like vibrantly green. Like
Right, I saw that and
yeah.
I thought maybe he loved the color. Oh
They
my gosh,
looked
was he disappointed?
they looked like soybeans. Like like
Yes.
what do you call it? Edamame. They look and he's a huge edamame fan.
So is
So they
mine.
looked like edamame. And I think that's what he thought they were. So
Oh my
when I
gosh.
brought the bowl over, he kind of looked at them like these are not what I expected them to be, but he still ate them, which is really
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. I know it is so funny and so not like I love that you stock with healthy things and they can take what they want. It's like you're offering options you're okay with. And for some reason it feels punitive sometimes when I say, oh, you're still hungry. There's tons of raw veggies in the fridge, but I think I'm offering an option I'm okay with. Take what you want.
No, I think that's the only way to do it really because I'm a big believer in I mean, if we don't buy it, the whole like I don't know, kids eating bad snack thing, we're in control because if we don't buy it, they don't have access to it. So
Go on with what you're going to say. Were you going to say go, like I found with my daughter, she would much rather go get the ice cream cone than have
yes.
me
And
scoop
that's
the
what we
ice
do.
cream from
And that's
something
what
in
I
the
mean.
fridge. And
I
we do
think
stuff like that all the time,
all
but
the
she
time.
likes it more out, a lot more out than
I
home.
do too. And I can't keep like we maybe have a container of ice cream in the freezer twice a year and it's usually left over from a holiday like Thanksgiving or something. And then once it's gone, we generally don't stock ice cream and we don't I mean my husband's a huge he's the chip and candy guy. So
That's my husband.
that's kind of where it sneaks in a little bit with like the Sour
Yes.
Patch Kids and the Red
Or Reese's.
Fish. For us it's Sour Patch Kids, Red Fish, and chips and it kind of sneaks in there. But I've been good at kind of like partitioning his stuff and not keeping it in the regular pantry. And then so that way,
I'm imagining it in a lockbox in the closet.
well, he's been joking that he needs to get a lockbox because the kids are getting old enough where they know that dad has all the good stuff.
Yes.
So he's like, I need a lockbox because he can't keep his chips around anymore. But yeah,
And mine
generally,
loves the ceremony. She likes getting in the car. She likes going out, which I love because I find for me, and it makes some of my friends crazy, I love Susan Ito, Foodie McBody, to death, and it makes her crazy about me that I'm like, food schmood, I'm about the people and the ceremony, and let's get fancy, and I'm really about enjoying the whole experience, and I've noticed that with her. Like, she does not want, you could make the biggest ice cream sundae at home. She wants to go to it's Amy's ice cream here in Austin, but where was it? Like, oh, I can't even think where else it would be. But she wants to go out and make it an experience and see
Right.
people and color on the placemat and all that.
That's how we go to like the yogurt places because they love that they can make their own yogurts and like top them with gummy bears
Yes,
and whatever.
exactly.
And they're the most gross. Like my son, I don't know how it's like 3 different flavors of yogurt that has no business being in the same container. It'll be like chocolate and pumpkin and strawberry. I don't know, just randomness. Or cotton candy ice cream because it's blue. They love it. But
Oh my gosh, I used to love the bubble gum from Baskin
oh.
Robbins.
And then they top it with gummy bears, cinnamon toast crunch cereal. What's that Captain Crunch cereal? It's like all the cereals for some because I don't buy sugar cereals. So it's
Oh,
like
yes.
that's like they're only out to get
Yes.
like cultural significant sugar cereals like
And I
Captain
think
Crunch.
it's empowering for them because watch mine. Of course, that's where I show I'm really old because it's not that I say you should get the fresh raspberries because I'm trying to be healthy. I think, oh, those look really delightful. I think it's empowering to let them choose. Like,
yes, I let them choose. And
portioning it out.
my fingers are crossed that because I always go and I get like the small amount of yogurt and like vanilla and then I top it with like every fruit there and maybe like a little bit of chocolate chips.
Some kale.
Like some chocolate chips and a little bit of coconut, maybe some almonds. And I'm hoping that once they outgrow their kid, like, oh my God, I
Taste
get all this. I
buds.
have all these like options for me
Yes.
that mom doesn't let me have at home. That then my example will be what teaches them. But
Yes.
the only time.
I think it works. I mean, we love Venus Williams. We talked about this before, and I wrote a column for her next week, but talking about how my daughter went out with my husband, who's like, get whatever you want, and I think she had pizza, nachos, and tater tots. I think that was her lunch.
That is
So we were
quite-
laying in bed, and she kept saying, I do not feel so good. Like she's starting to notice that. And so I think it's that too. It's like as kids, they initially don't notice it, but then they start realizing, oh yeah, I don't feel so great when I eat all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think did I ever tell you the story about Ryan with his constipation? I think I said that story.
Yes.
So
But
when
at
he was
least
like
that kind of
4,
stuff.
I was like, "Will you stop eating
Yeah.
fruits and vegetables? This is what happens." And I swear now, like it's like I only have to bring. I was like, "Well, that's why you eat healthy, so your body keeps things moving and going." And both, I mean, now even Evan's now 4, and I talk about the same thing with him. Like if he has some bathroom problems, I always use it as a way to go, look, this is why mommy is really adamant about making you eat your vegetables at dinner, and this is why you should choose an apple for snack every now and then, and this is why, and I just
Yes.
think,
Oh my gosh, that stuff is such a gift because my daughter looks at bread and gets constipated. And so it's so easy to she kind of monitors herself because she knows
right.
what happens in her own little body. Oh my gosh, have we become the what your kids can, when your kids can?
It's so true. Well, it's like little things that you do, but.
And it's the same for adults. I mean, just where you started with the cleaning up the meal and thinking I want a snack, that's adults as well as kids.
It's true. Yeah, my husband does it all the time.
And I think I do it too because then my next step is going to Bravo TV.
Yes.
With my snack. All right. I've got a wycwycker of the month or the week.
Wycwycker of the week. Because if we only did this once a month, let me tell you, it would be like October by now.
Yes. Okay, and it does go with the kid thing, but I found this and I loved it because I feel a lot of kinship with this woman. Her name is Erin Brown. I think her blog is just IamErinBrown.com. I love her, read her book. She seems newly-ish discovered that she loves lifting. She loves lifting heavy. You guys are a lot alike in that way too. And this is a little bit long, but she posted on Facebook, and the crux of it was Erin was super excited to go and lift. It's her time. She brought her daughter, had to that day, and she brought an iPad for her daughter, who is, I think, about 4. And they got to the gym, and basically her daughter jettisoned the iPad and thought it would be much more fun to do fitness with mommy. And so here's kind of where I grabbed it from Facebook. But Erin realized even though she really wanted to lift, she couldn't let her run around the gym. So Erin chose to fit in her fitness, do what she could when she could, and grabbed her daughter. They played. They ran around on the silks. They played on the climbing wall. They did some stuff on the rings. And her daughter looked at her and said, "This is the best gym ever. I want to come here every day." And Erin does say she got in a great workout. It wasn't the same as if I'd gone alone, but it was a change of pace. We both had a great time. Sometimes fitting it in requires creativity and flexibility. And I thought, that is exactly it. I know. That is the crux of fitting in fitness and doing what you can when you can. And like you were saying, leading by example, practicing what you want to preach, and the whole thing just made me smile.
Well, and it's probably invaluable that her daughter got to see her in that environment and just the impression she made on her. And I mean, so there's so many benefits instead of just skipping it because you didn't have childcare or whatever. The benefits are like tripled, quadruple if you just take her with you. Yes. I mean, oh, so good. Awesome.
I know, and that really made me grin. So that's my wycwycer of the week.
Yay.
I know. We've come to a close of another fantastic episode.
We did it. Episode 6 is now complete. I don't even remember what we babbled about, but we babbled, so that was good. It was very energizing, too.
It was. I totally feel energized now as well.
I do. Now I can actually get some work done, I think.
That's right. Do what you can when you can.
Yes. Okay, so we are out.
Until next week, wycwyc.
Wycwyc. Okay, we're done. I will edit that.
I think it went really.
That was really
This
fun.
is like quintessential us with the episodes, and it's if people don't like it, then they're not our people. Whatever.
Well, of course.
Really
No,
good.
well, it's just two women chatting for
I thought it was
half an hour.
and yet I thought it was really good. I'll be curious to hear what other people think. I
was
thought it went really
fun.
well.
Yeah, it was. Okay, I will shut down, and then
Awesome.
do you want to talk?
Yes, actually,
All right,
let me
I'll
call you.
Call
Okay,
me.
call me back.
Call me. Okay, you call me.
Okay.
Call me. Bye.
Okay, let me see if I can get this off.